is Dr. Nathan Groot. I am a music instructor at the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts, where I teach string ensemble, applied string lessons, and other music courses. Today we're looking at the excerpt for violin, Listen to the Mockingbird, which is for the Cadet Orchestra Audition in the North region of the state for the years 2023 through 2026. This is from the Strictly Strings, Book 2. It is on page 15, just the second excerpt on that page. First things to notice when you're looking at a new piece are the key signature and time signature. So let's start with the key signature. What key are we in? We have 1 sharp, and it's looking like we are in G major. So it might be useful to play a G major scale. So G, A, B, C natural, D, E, F sharp, that's our 1 sharp in this key, G, there's our first octave, let's do another octave, A, B, C natural, low 2, D, E, F sharp, G natural, low 2. We've reached G again, that's our second octave, so let's go down, G, F sharp, E, D, low 2, C natural, B, A, G, F sharp, high 2, E, D, C, B, A, G. So in the key of G major, we're looking at a 2-3 finger pattern on the G string, a 2-3 finger pattern on the D string, a 1-2 finger pattern on the A string, and a 1-2 finger pattern on the E string. So just remember, high 2 on your lower 2 strings, low 2 on your upper 2 strings. Okay, what about time signature? This one's pretty simple. It's 4/4, so we have 4 quarter notes in each measure. Now you may notice something a little bit interesting about the first measure. It's that it's an incomplete measure. This is what's called a pickup or an anacrusis. So that means when we start, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then it comes in 4E and a 1. So we're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4E and a 1 and 2, rest. 4E and a 1 and 2, rest, etc. So that means we're going to start on beat 4, and then the downbeat is actually the next full measure after those 4/16 notes. So this has a melody that kind of repeats twice. Once is forte, once starts the second time starts piano and gets loud at the end. It has a slightly different ending, but mostly it's the same material. So we're just going to take a look at the rhythm real quick. I'm going to set a metronome, and I want you to count along with me based on the symbols I put up on the screen, okay? Just using the numbers and letters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say and I'm also going to say 1 E and a. E and a are the syllables that I use for the 16th notes. Okay, so follow along. If you need to do it a couple of times, feel free to back up and try it again, but let's give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to start with 4E and a, okay? 1, 2, 3. 4E and a, 1 and 2, rest. 4E and a, 1 and 2, rest. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, rest. 4E and a, 1 and 2, rest. 4E and a, 1 and 2, rest. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, off. All right, so let's talk about this rhythm just a little bit. So we start with 4E and a, 1 and 2. Pretty simple. We have a rest. Make sure you're observing that rest. It's really easy to blow past that rest. Then we have it again. 4E and a, 1 and 2, just a step down. Now, in the third full measure, this is where things get a little bit more complicated because we have what's called a syncopation. We have the note changing on the and instead of on the beat. So we have pick up into measure 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and. So to explain this, let's think about how many eighth notes fit within a quarter note. The answer is 2, right? There are 2 eighth notes within a quarter note. Let's imagine that that second note of the third full measure was 2 eighth notes instead of a quarter note. It would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So if you were to imagine that underlying eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm going to count all the eighth notes while I play it as written. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So you see how that works? We're going to be thinking about those eighth notes so that we can play the syncopation. When we were counting it out loud, you might have noticed I put extra emphasis on the and. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. And in fact, you'll notice there is an accent on that note. So that's going to help you emphasize that this is 1 and 2 and 3. So bum, ba, 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 right? All right, so let's talk a little bit about the bow. Where in the bow should we start? It actually tells us. You can see right below that 4-4, it has LH, and that means lower half. So if we look at our bow here, we have the tip, we have the frog, we have the middle, we have the upper half here, and we have the lower half here. So where in the lower half? Should we be right at the frog? Probably not. We might not get the best sound. I would argue somewhere around our balance point is right about where you want to be. This is a great place to be for this type of music. So think about your frog, a little bit higher than that, but not quite the middle, okay? Now, how do we achieve the dynamic of forte? This is loud, right? And we want to make it loud so that we can create contrast later with the piano section. So with our bow, we have weight, how much weight is being transferred from the arm through the bow and into the string. So heavy versus light. There's speed, how fast we're moving the bow versus slow. And then there's also contact points, so where in relation to the bridge and the fingerboard we are. If we're closer to the bridge, we're going to be a little bit louder, a little bit more of an intense sound. I would argue that the variables that we should mostly focus on in this opening are weight and contact point. Why not speed? Well, because if we use too much speed, it's going to be kind of sloppy. So I think that in order to get a clean sound, we need to use more weight and a contact point that is closer to the bridge. So when you start right around the balance point, close to the bridge. Not too close or else you'll get a special effect called ponticello, but right about here is fine. Maybe midway plus a little bit, okay? And we're going to start. Notice that there are 2 staccatos. Ta 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 ta, short, short, long. Let's try it again. Rest, lift. Bow, circle, set. You're going to want to set that bow on the string, okay? So during that rest, make sure you do a little circle, bring yourself back to where you want to be, and set that bow. So these notes are staccato. Notice that in the second full measure, we have simile, and this means that we are going to apply the same staccatos, the same style that we've been using, these same articulations, to the material that comes after. So it's all going to be the same throughout the piece. Same thing, bow circle, okay? Make sure that that up bow, give that up bow a nice little oomph so that you hear that accent. Now here at the end of the first line, we go down to piano. It's the same material, but we go down to piano. I would argue same part of the bow, but we're going to change two things. We're going to go to the balance point, but we're going to move from the bridge to closer to the fingerboard, and we're going to use less weight. So just allowing the natural arm weight to come out of the string. Lift, set, lift, set, crescendo. So with that crescendo, I'm using more weight, I'm using more speed, and I'm moving my bow from here closer to here. So from that pickup into the syncopation on the second line, I'm moving the bow closer to myself, using more weight, using more speed to crescendo from piano all the way up to forte. If you have great dynamics in your audition, you are going to sound amazing and really set yourself apart. All right, here is 60 on the metronome. 1, 2, 3. I hope that this was somewhat helpful to you. If I've missed anything, if there's anything that you have questions about, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I would be more than happy to answer anything that you might have questions about. But otherwise, I wish you the very best of luck in your upcoming audition, and as always, happy practicing.